Missed the fuzziness, had a dream. It seemed to be an afternoon after school. My mother hugged me so tight that made my arms uncomfortable. No, I should probably get water too now that I look at it. It seemed to be an afternoon after school. My mother hugged me so tight that made my arms uncomfortable. She kept crying and apologizing, wetting my face with endless teardrops. Why was she crying? I practically looked at my emotional collapsed mother. Even a supposedly familiar face appeared unfamiliar at that moment. Even though she was the one who betrayed father. Even though she was the one who abandoned us. So why did she look so sad? I couldn't ask a simple question from my heart, yet a voice answered nonetheless. That's how adult world works. It was a depressed, yet still a young voice. Within the darkness, I realized there was none other than my own voice. I woke up from my dream in shock, with the realization that my face was all wet. I couldn't recall the details of the dream itself, just the sense of bitterness weighing on my chest, rendering me breathless. There were a few spots of white light from outside on the ground. It was so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat and the wind from the window. It was probably 4 or 5 a.m. I was woken up early because I slept way too early the day before. I set up to stretch my body, with the joints making clear cracking sounds. The last of my dream vanished with the morning light. I noticed the girl was leaning against the door with the blanket, with the knife next to her body. She had clearly fallen into a deep sleep. Worrying I might escape, she didn't even want to sleep in an actual bed. She had a slender body, clearly due to malnutrition, and kept shoulder-length hair that was tangled in multiple places. Long eyebrows wrinkled together as though she couldn't find peace even in a dream. Her long hair didn't seem very healthy, and the color was not consistent. I'm probably couldn't care less about her hair when eating for the night alone was uncertainty. She could be a beauty if she cleaned herself up, maybe put on some makeup. Carefully observing her sleeping face, I almost forgot she was the kidnapper. Having a totally different family might have led to a totally different life for her. The world is not fair. I murmured what she had said. I wondered what emotion did she say that line with? Helplessness towards society? Self-pity? Rage against the rich? I decided to stop thinking about it and focus on figuring out what to do. There was no point to risk this much. They might just let me go after tonight. Hearing her voice, I was glad I didn't try anything crazy. I finally managed to let her drop her guard on me. I just need to be patient and wait for the opportunity. Good morning.
What are you doing?
She tiredly yawned and looked at me unpleasantly. Wait for breakfast. She clearly didn't buy it and walked to me with the knife. She checked if the rope was loose.
You're free once your dad pays today. No funny business.
Alright.
Better keep your mouth shut and say nothing. Got it?
You never make friends who are this bossy, you know. Responded jokingly, but she didn't seem to appreciate it. She stared at me briefly and decided to say nothing more. She then walked to the bathroom to clean up. Luckily this might be, but if they were going to pay the ransom, they would let me go without me risking anything. The real problem would be if it was just to buy time. I'm not sure what it would do if it pushed it forward. Either escape on my own or waited for the police rescue. Well, I would worry about that after tonight. So what now? Why do you owe that much money?
My dad tried to start a company with someone, but that partner skipped town with all the money.
That should be none of your business, though. You can't just file for bankruptcy.
He thought he could make up the loss if the business kept running, so he loaned a ton from a loan shark. He's no businessman, so the business naturally failed. He himself skipped town too instead of making any money.
But legally, that's his own debt.
Legally?
She cut me off with a grunt, and I asked with a raised eyebrow.
Do you think this is some entrance exam? What are the cops for if everyone follows the law?
So no one can help you? She looked at me with amazement.
You need to take responsibility for your own life. Isn't that your favorite line?
I mean,
Enough. Should I fill you in on how I survived till now?
she shut me down decisively. I fell into deep thought next to the window with her cigarette. So what now? A moment. You look pretty tired.
None of your business.
She replied sourly, yet the thick dark circles under her eyes said it all. Guarding me around the clock, plus the heavy mental stress, had taken a toll on her body. I told you my spread.
Shut up. I'm not in the same bad shape as you.
I'm not helping you if you faint.
Shut up.
Lack of sleep led to bad temper. She waved her hand to stop me from saying more. Damn, too small. Some sunlight went through the foggy window, but it was still too small for a person to fit through. She couldn't seem to calm down on that big day. Pacing around the room, she kept checking her phone screen. Sound from outside the door. Judging from the girl's shocked reaction, I wasn't imagining things. What could that be? There were questions in my mind, but I was pressed against the wall before I could even open my mouth. The girl covered my mouth in panic and raised the knife against my neck. The blade was so close, I wouldn't dare to move an inch.
Don't move.
I can't.
Shut up.
Unable to stop the trembling in her voice, she put more force into her hand. The sharp end was stabbed into the throat with a simple push. It didn't appear to be an accomplice, since it didn't appear there were any other residents. One wouldn't expect a sudden visit. The police, maybe? Might be able to find me through the surveillance camera or cell phone signal, but could it find us this quickly after only a few days? Following the train of thoughts, the steps got closer and stopped right before the door. There was no hesitation, straight to destination. In other words, they knew there was someone here. Still waiting for something. There was no sound outside the door. No one seemed to want to break this silence. My tense right hand trembled a little. I could see the sweat dripping down the cheek.
Big sis?
The little girl's voice came through the door.
Ah,
She breathed out heavily and dropped her arms as though exhausted. She opened the door to greet the little girl, who was carrying a bag. Look at her big sis innocently.
what are you doing? Do you know how dangerous it is? If you didn't make a sound, I might have attacked you.
Sorry.
It was rare to see her getting mad at the little girl, lower her head apologetically. Through the door, I could see the view of the stairs. The red armrest and gray wall were the common sight of an old apartment.
Whatever, as long as it's not the cops. Wait, didn't I tell you not to come? What happened? Who asked you to come here?
She raised her head suddenly and started to shake the little girl's shoulder with a nervous expression.
No one.
And why did you?
I just wanted to be with Big Sis.
Her direct response rendered the girl speechless, who became lost in thought while rubbing the little girl's head. The little girl's motive was simple. She just wanted to be with her big sis, but her sister had more to consider. How to avoid police pursuit, what to do after getting the money. It was difficult as it was to escape on her own, let alone taking care of the little girl.
Why did you bring so many things?
Deciding to let it go, she took the plastic bag.
Ms. Wayne asked me to bring them over. She said they were leftover.
She knows.
I don't know. She just said you should take care of yourself and let her know you need help.
She seemed to lose her usual cool, her head lowered depressingly.
Big Sis?
Hmm?
Miss Wayne seems worried about you.
Looking at the hesitating little girl, she bit her lips, finally spoke after a while.
Don't worry, it will all be over soon.
She managed to smile while rubbing the little girl's hair. Noticing the name that was brought up, who was this Ms. Wang they were talking about? Who's Ms. Wang? Since it was the first time they brought up someone else, I decided to ask when I had the chance.
She is Big Sis's.
Huh? Suddenly a bread was thrown at me. Hit me right in the face before I could react. Thank goodness it was just Gallian bread. Be in trouble if it was a baguette.
Be quiet and don't try to trick her. You too, Ling. Don't tell him anything.
Ling? I repeated the name quietly, the girl still scolding her sister, not paying attention to what she just revealed. If they shared the same last name, then her full name should be Yiling Huang? The name stuck out to me, almost felt familiar in a way.
Whatever. It might be for the best.
She passed the knife to the little girl and started to leave the room with the cell phone, impatiently.
Keep an eye on him for me. I'm gonna give a call and find out what's going on. They didn't pick up the phone.
She patiently mumbled and was about to step out the room. Calling whom?
What part of shut up don't you understand?
She coldly stared at me.
It's none of your business. Got it? Just eat the bread if you're hungry. There's also enough water. I'll be back soon, so don't you think about untying yourself.
Hey, what if there's a fire?
Then you'll be burned to death. I don't care as long as she escapes.
Fighting from her privilege, Ling got me merciless look. The little girl quietly nodding on his side.
I will remind you again, no funny business.
What else can I do? BBQ? She wanted to say something while staring at me, but she just grunted and left. The door closed and there were only me and the little girl. We learned if the ransom really finally arrived tonight or not. He would only keep a closer eye on me if the negotiation continued. If I wanted to run, that would be the best chance. The little girl had less strength than her sister, nor was as on guard of me as she used to. All these choices were like gambling. You never knew what would be your next card. The only thing that mattered was that you only had one chance to bid. That Ms. Wang you just mentioned. She was about to talk before immediately shutting her mouth, still remembering her big sis' words. I had to find another way to make her disclose it. She's your family, right? She was the culprit. She wouldn't have asked her to rest. Nora brought them food.
Family.
She mumbled my words, but finally nodded affirmatively.
If Miss Wayne didn't help us, we wouldn't even have a place to live, or people hiring us. Outside of Big Sis, Miss Wayne is the only one helping us.
Deep in her memory, she probably recalled with her lowered head. Remember, she said the bread were leftovers, which means they're either from a bakery or a shopping mall. If it was a shopping mall, then they would probably also have bentos and drinks. In other words, they used to work in a bakery? Right. I almost forgot to thank you.
Why are you thanking me?
When I was sick a few days ago, weren't you the one that asked her to bring me some medicine?
No, Big Sis would have helped you anyway.
She awkwardly avoided my gaze, though admitting that helping me was something to be embarrassed about. I consider a conflicted mind. To her, my gratitude might not be praise or criticism. I try to check out the girl's notebook, but she snatched it away from me. It seems like I can't read it without her permission. Oh, so you like cake? I borrowed a dessert magazine for her. I could tell her purposes from all the markings in it.
Yes!
She nodded eagerly. Her serious reaction was rather amusing.
I like fluffy cake. Chocolate is the best, but strawberry's fine too.
Though the ones you picked aren't really cheap, and one of them costs at least a few hundred Taiwan dollars. So she marked all look pretty fancy. There've even a few famous ones that accept the only reservations. You might admire those rich ladies' power of consumption. Were they eating a lot of sliced cake or some gold foil or something pearl powder? For millions in debt to luxurious afternoon tea, that sort of distance was one you couldn't close up in your lifetime.
Even if just once, I want to try them with Big Sis.
Her quiet words broke my train of thought. She stood still and hung her head sadly. You by the sadness in her voice, I almost forgot my own conundrum. Some people live a luxurious life yet couldn't find fulfillment or purpose, while others only wish to be able to have an afternoon tea with their family, just once. The same society but different lives. Some people's dreams are merely trivial daily occurrences for others. When I raised my head, the girl was already back to folding paper. It was the fifth day of my kidnapped life, so I got really tired of the unchanged room. There was the afternoon sunlight reflection in the window or the air mixed with cigarette and mold smell. I didn't have an enlightened experience. I just want to get out of this goddamn place. What's that? Noticing the bag in her hand, I asked out of curiosity.
Colored paper.
Colored paper. She took out a pile of colored paper. The rainbow color really stood out in the depressingly gray room. A few slick movements, she had nimbly made a small paper crane out of it. She moved on to the next paper upon completion. Another one was completed less than a minute. A paper crane?
Yes, they buy finished paper cranes from us.
Oh, domestic OEM. Some factories will outsource sewing and packaging to housewives and pay for quantity upon completion. Despite the low pay, many people took on such jobs for the convenience, flexible hours.
I wanted to help make some money so we could pay up the debt sooner.
She was still working while talking. It was long before there was a small pile. It appeared to be her first time. She must have been doing this for a while. How's the payment? How much each?
800 Taiwan dollars for 1,000. More if urgent.
800 per 1,000 cranes. That's less than $1 each. It took only a minute to make one. It would still take 15 hours. It's less than 100 hourly salary. It's unexpected. That's not much. Isn't this manual labor?
Don't know. They say people don't buy paper crane anymore. I guess we all prefer new things.
If you're $1 million in debt, in a century would not be enough, let alone the interest. There's no foreseeable future. No wonder they rather took the risk and kidnapped me. A horse cannot gain weight without having an extra fodder during the night. A man cannot become wealthy without earning apart from his regular pays. Illegal methods are really the only option to make money in a short time without capital. Have you tried jobs with better pay, like restaurants?
Big Sis told me to stay away from those.
She interrupted me resentfully, clearly not happy about it. Confused by her reaction, I tried to explain myself, then I noticed how she was suppressing her emotion by biting her lips. Restaurants, jobs with better pay. It only took me seconds before I realized what she didn't say. I averted my gaze apologetically. Sorry, I didn't mean to. She quietly lowered her gaze, but her expression did lighten up a little. How much do you owe?
I know that no matter how many I make, it would still not be enough.
Someone had in mind, she quietly resumed working.
But this is the only way I could help Big Sis.
She knew this little money was inconsequential. She knew what she was doing was illegal, yet she could only do what she could. It was as pointless as filling the ocean with rocks. Do you know the story of the paper crane? I remember the bedtime story while looking at the paper crane in her hand.
If you fold 1,000 paper cranes, you can make a wish.
So you do know.
Big Sis told me that, but it was all lies. If all it takes is 1,000 cranes, everyone wouldn't need to work so hard.
What an unimaginative way to put it. I guess they didn't have time for romantic fantasy. How ironic. The dream-fulfilling paper cranes were made by people without them. Observe her side face with unease. She didn't appear to have much emotion, just as quiet as a pond in fall. The siblings had such drastically different personalities. In contrast to her big sis' anger, she just accepted it without a second word. She cared about her big sis' happiness, my current life more than fairness. I didn't know how to respond, so I changed the subject. If you could have a wish, what would it be?
It would not come true anyway.
That's why I said if. She seemed to take my random question seriously. I started to contemplate seriously.
I want to help the family pay the debt. I hope no one will come for us. I wish Big Sis can find a happier and better job.
Oh, getting a little greedy here.
You asked me to.
God will listen to you if you ask for too many things, you know? She got interrupted by me and started to smile sadly. Smile more heartbreaking than crying.
Well, they won't come true anyway.
I tried to comfort her, but couldn't find the words. Resented myself for even bringing it up. first place. Looking out the window, it was dusk already and the sun was almost gone. Wasn't sure they had any luck with their ransom. It was quite an assortment of bread. At the bread she brought back for dinner, picked a richer looking pork floss combo. It tasted better than I expected. Used to only buy from a bakery that made fresh and organic bread. The price almost doubled, but the taste wasn't really that different. The economic equality used to be some fancy catchphrase, and I truly understood the meaning of that till now. It's unfairness and extreme. Even if giving the same amount of effort, they would never have the same life as me. Not because of my talent, but simply because I was born to a rich family. Some people choose work-study were already hundreds of thousands in debt upon graduation, while others never needed to worry about food or clothes and already had $1 million Taiwan dollars in business capital from the parents. Eventually, these people would compete fairly in the same society. It's ridiculous, really, yet there's nothing we can do about it. We are powerless to the system. The world isn't fair. That's why she was this helpless. It was getting dark and there was no news of her big sis. I didn't know she got the money. I started to worry. Well, I didn't really think they would pay, but I also hoped this fiasco could end on a peaceful note. If they couldn't get the money. All these thoughts intertwined in my mind. The little just ate their various breads quietly, not noticing my thoughts. Like sweets? She moved on to egg tart after finishing the donut, neither of them fitting for a proper meal. She quietly put her hand away like a child that got caught up doing naughty things. I like sweets too.
Really?
She looked at me with widened eyes, beaming curiosity. The innocence in her expression made one question her age. She looked at a middle schooler, yet her timid personality and her over-reliance on her sister seemed to be more like an elementary school kid. Yeah, I like cookies, cakes, and ice cream.
Chocolate?
Chocolate is nice, but I prefer those with higher percent of coca, otherwise it is too sweet for me. Not really understanding it, she just nodded. She paused at work and grabbed a magazine from the book pile, flipped through the pages before putting it before me. It's a professional magazine on desserts. There are photos of famous bakery and detailed analysis on each of them. I could see her notes on some pages, including a white chocolate cake that got specifically circled. The pure white cake was decorated with berries and covered in cocoa powder. The elaborate garnish made it more like an artwork than pastry.
Have you tried this?
Nope. I seldom try out a particular store. Only visited a few I know about. Sometimes people would give us some as gifts. I rarely had a taste of those since I didn't visit home frequently. Speaking of which, white chocolate is actually not chocolate.
Why is that?
It is white because there's no cocoa powder. Do you know it is made of cocoa butter and milk solid?
Oh,
She tilted her head and blinked a few times out of confusion.
so what's the difference?
Different ingredients. I heard white chocolate is not as healthy.
But it tastes good.
Can't argue with that. The difference between us was never clearer. Comparing to my health concerns, she cared more about the taste. I lifted the magazine with one hand. There were more pages with notes. I recalled myself doing the same thing on a travel guidebook before a trip. Every stroke of the pen was filled with anticipation. You really want to try them, huh? She lowered her head. I heard her response in a tiny voice.
Big sis said she will bring me there.
I was getting a little tired of her constant mentioning of big sis. However, she only had her big sis to rely on. She couldn't go to school and had to become independent way before others. It just wasn't fair to call her ignorant. I sighed. My heart always felt heavy when talking to her. Sometimes I'd rather she was as angry as a sister. At least I wouldn't feel as guilty that way. The magazine was the manifestation of her dream. Desserts, cake, and chocolate. From her perspective, those dreams would never come true. If she got the money, I think she would be able to bring it on a foodie tour. She looked at me with an expression on the verge of tears. Seeing her depressed expression, I swallowed the words I was about to say and regretted the fact that I might have gone too far. I wanted to let her see the reality, but didn't want to hurt her either. With that said, there could be a chance for that in the future.
Really?
Yep. Repeated myself to give her confidence. The shaky light in the dark lightened up her young face, which was filled with unease and sadness. She knew what her sister was doing. The bare realization was what shaped her suffering. But she didn't have a choice. Could she stop her sister, convince her to focus on a proper job instead of kidnapping? There's obviously no way. An adult would not be able to give an answer, let alone a kid like her. She's not to be blamed here. The ones responsible were her parents, her guardian, or even her big sis. My thoughts were interrupted by the sound. She was back. Immediately, there were countless thoughts in my mind, and realized I had no time to hesitate. The footsteps were getting closer, my heart beat faster. I clenched and then let go of my hands in the pocket. The palms were drenched in sweat. Maybe, just maybe. If she did get the ransom, that would be all over when she got here. No one would get hurt, they could restart their life, a happy ending like all fairy tales. No matter how unlikely it was, I wanted to believe that slight chance was my last chance of escape as the wager. I set on gamble on anything, and this would be the only time I truly hoped to win. The girl entered the room with an icy expression. She had none of her usual cool anymore. Her messy hair spread across her shoulders. I could see nothing but rage and despair in her eyes. I knew the answer without asking.
Big sis?
Step aside.
The little girl tried nervously to get closer, but only got shoved aside by her big sis, who walked towards me with big steps. Out of nowhere, a kick landed on my stomach, made me curl up in pain. Before I could react, a myriad of punches landed on me.
Big sis!
Get up and step aside!
The little girl tried to pull her away, but she got scared, motionless by her sister's yelling.
All of you are the same! All of you!
She yelled at me hysterically, as though trying to vent all her rage upon me. I managed to cover my head with my hands, trying to shield my crucial parts. There was a taste of blood in my mouth, my body spasmed uncontrollably. Even coughing up gastric juice didn't alleviate the sense of nausea.
Every single time! Every time! Every fucking time! I just want a normal life! Why do you have to force me? What do you want from me?
The yelling and the crying. The initial burning pain seemed to gradually disappear. All the noise mixed into one everlasting sound in my ear, as though from somewhere far, far away. I naively thought it would work out. I gave my chance like a coward, believing they would pay. I knew it from the very beginning. I gave up my chance of escape to embrace an unrealistic hope, and here I was.
Big sis, why? You said it would be alright.
So hearing her sister for the first time, the girl dropped her fist and faced the crying little girl. Her clenched fist was still trembling. Her standing posture appeared extremely lonely.
Don't cry.
I could hear her choking up. There were tears in her eyes, but she stubbornly refused to let them drop.
I won't cry either.
She bit her lips and said every word forcefully.
I will not cry no matter what. I already knew it would be like this. I knew no one would believe me no matter what I did. From their perspective, we should all just go to hell. We're just some social problem. We should all just die. Just because we're poor and can't go to school. Why don't they just lock up everyone who has less than 20K in income? Everyone who doesn't have a middle school diploma should just get executed. What do they call us? Backup criminals? Social time bombs?
Big sis.
Listen to me. No one will believe us and no one will help us. All we have is ourselves. Got it?
There was declaration and accusation both. A yell straight from her soul's deepest place. She unclenched her fists. There spots of blood on her gloves. She just laughed, ignoring that.
I know. This world is just not fair.
Hear the familiar words, if I understood the emotion behind them. It was neither helplessness nor acceptance, but rage and struggling against reality.